I warmly welcome all of you on behalf of upGrad and request all of you to join me in welcoming Mr. Ankur Dhawan, who heads the study abroad division for upGrad. Sir, we welcome you and wish you a very good evening.
Hey, very good evening, everyone.
Right.
I see some interesting questions coming our way.
Yes, we've got a lot of them who are keen on having their questions addressed. So, sir, the major objective of doing this is one, to break some stereotypes that are built or largely perceived to be true, and also address some of the mental blocks that parents and students have when it comes to studying abroad, right? So we'll make sure we take as many live questions as we can, but just wanted to start with clearing the air around a general perception that students have that, bachelor's should be done in India, and for masters, you should go abroad. How do you look at that? And please give us your views on that.
A very good question. I think the reason why this stereotype exists today, Praneeth, is that bachelor's is a longer duration. Whether you go to Australia, you go to UK, US, Canada, all these places, you'll find bachelor's at least 3 years. And in some places, 4 years, like US and Canada is a 4-year bachelor's. Now, 3-year course and 4-year course means that your cost will be 3 times of 1-year course. And that's why people think that this is going to be unaffordable for them. So just typically taking example of 1 year of tuition fees in most of these colleges is around 12 lakh in Indian currency. I'm just giving a high level number. And another, if you add 10 lakh of living costs, which a typical student will incur. So if you're talking of 3-year course, it's 66 lakhs. And if you're talking of 4 years course, it goes to up to 88 lakh. And these are very minimum number I'm saying. This can be going a little up as well. So if you talk about 70 lakhs to 1 CR for a bachelor's course, it's obviously, I can also understand, very difficult for a parents, for a person to decide whether I can go for bachelor's or not. Now, this problem we realized very early in our, I'll say, as an upgrad, when we have thought about upgrad abroad, we realized that students do not go for bachelor's because this is unaffordable. It's very big on their pocket. And that's why we have this upgrad accelerator program, which we have launched on our platform. So these courses basically accelerate your journey to study abroad. Instead of going for a 3-year course, you still go for 2-year course, or maybe sometimes 1-year course as well. And you go there for your bachelor's only, and you get a post-study work visa benefit, which you expect to go there. And the eligibility criteria also we have kept very, very simple, because we know that once the student studies with upgrad, we will be able to prepare him for going abroad. So we do not really care about your IELTS score. We know that we can teach you IELTS and we'll get your IELTS cleared. We know you don't have SOP, don't worry. We'll write the SOP for you. We'll help you write the SOP, not simply write. You don't have a passport, no worries. Take your time to get your passport. So don't worry about the things which typically holds you back. Neither the financial, that means education loan, nor the IELTS, nor the passport, nor your SOP, LOR, all that to be done by during this 1 year or 2 year when you study with us. So yes, so the reason why people thought that bachelor is difficult to go was unaffordability. And sometimes the parents think that, okay, my child is pretty young to go abroad. They don't understand the maturity today a student gets very quickly. And when he is ready to go abroad. Now, what it does, the reason I'm calling it an accelerator program, you would like to know why we are calling it an accelerator program. Typically, if you're going for a master's, that means you have done 3 years of bachelor's or 4-year bachelor's in India. So you have done 3-year bachelor's, 4-year bachelor's, and students don't get to go just after completing 1 year of one particular course. So if you've completed your bachelor's, typically you would have taken some loan. And if you have taken a loan, you want to first pay off that loan and then go for master's. That means that you are going to further take 2 years before you go abroad. So 3 years of bachelor's or 4-year bachelor's plus 2 years of work experience, and then you go for master's, again 1 year or 2 year, depending upon which country you're going. That means by the time you are there in abroad and start earning your full potential salary, which is a high salary, you've already done 7 years or 8 years after class 12. And that's where this accelerator program basically cuts down that journey of 7 to 8 years to basically 3 years. you should be able to go. And our programs, most of our bachelor programs, which we have accelerator programs, also gives you integrated masters. So actually you can do 4.5 years or 5 years, 2 years in India and 3 years in US or Canada, and complete your masters as well. So this is the power of accelerator programs which are there with us, and this makes anybody or everybody should be thinking about studying abroad.
Right. So, as you explained, do these programs also add to the flexibility? So, if a student would realize after 1 or 2 years that the initial objective has now changed. So, supposedly, if I wanted to go to Australia, can I still change or relook at the offerings of upGrad in terms of which country, which degree do I want to capstone my education in? How is the flexibility altered if I study with you?
Yeah, so that's the next level benefit which we talked about. First, we said, okay, start studying, accelerate your career in bachelor's, and don't wait for the masters to go abroad. Now, the second level of the point which you're making is that when you're studying in our program, accelerator programs, the world is open for you. When I say world is open for you, you will have options of going either to Australia or US or Canada, depending upon which program you do. And within that university, within that geography, whether you want to go to Canada or US or Australia, you will have multiple universities options. So right now we have 4 options in Australia. We have 2 options in Canada. We have 1 option in US, but right now at this point in time, by the time the students complete the first year, he will have 4-5 options there as well. He might have 35 options as well, because we are talking to many universities, and every university realizes this part, that a student who comes on bachelor's is very difficult for him to afford. Let's make his life easier, affordable, by giving him option of studying in India and coming abroad when he's done with the 1 year or 2 year, and then come abroad. So it's just saying that, okay, you anyway wanted to study in India, you would have done your 3-year bachelor's or 4-year bachelor's in India. I am giving you an option of doing your bachelor's in India. But if you decide to go abroad after a year or 2 year, you have an option of multiple countries and multiple universities. That's the power of accelerator programs we have got.
Got that. In terms of the major countries that most students are looking at right now, US, Canada, Australia, Germany, UK, in your opinion, what is the talent gap in these countries, and what are some of the future looking courses that students can pick up that amplify their market value and the general employability level in
Sure.
Australia, UK, US, Canada, Germany? Please go ahead.
Yeah, I think when you think about, first of all, I think our topic of today's webinar is why study abroad and why should we think about studying abroad. Let me just expand on that one, and from there only I will touch which fields you can touch when you're thinking about going abroad. So we need to understand, when we are in India, first of all, we are in a very high competition stage. When I mean high competition, everybody knows close to 8 to 10 lakhs sit for JEE exams. Similar number will be for CAT, people who are looking for masters, they will be sitting for. 99.9% students do not get sometimes Delhi University seats. So we are in a very high competition world. Let's say we clear this competition and we are amongst one of the IITs and we're studying a mechanical engineering. We do not get high salaries after completing our courses in India. Because it seems everybody wants to study computer science, but they cannot get computer science in an IIT. That is the life, and that is the reality which everybody has to accept, that okay, IITs, even if we include all them, computer science, will be close to 600 to 700 seats. And there are lakhs of people who are fighting for it. Even in DU, if you are looking for a DU, let's say St. Stephen's economics course, there are 30 people who can take that course, or 40 maybe. But the people who are going after it is, again, I'd say, if not lakhs, at least in tens of thousands of people who are trying to get there. So that is the life we are living in India. Is a high competition. We are trying to win over this competition and trying to figure out a seat which we really want to do. And nobody cares about your aspiration. The courses which we have in India are very, very rigid structure. This is what the curriculum is. You have to read, you have to study this only. You have no flexibility on deciding which particular electives to take, which particular minor to take. That's the way the courses are structured in India. So I talked about 2 problems: 2, high competition, no flexibility in what you're wanting to study. And third is the salaries which you get as a fresher after completing your studies of 3 years hard work which you put in India. is what, 5, 6 lakhs, 7 lakhs. That is what you start mostly, unless you are in IIT computer science, then you can start at 1 crore as well. But I'm not talking of that. That's a 600 students odd people who will be doing that. So for the high competition which you go through in India, the low flexibility of studying only what is given to you, you can't choose from a buffet, and the minuscule salary which you earn, the ROI is not justified for your investment of effort, investment of money. That is where we prefer that, okay, students should be looking at studying abroad, because that is where they do high ROI. If you're spending 40, 50 lakh to study in Australia or in US, the starting salary in Australia will be somewhere 30 lakhs. In US, it can be up to 70 lakhs. In Canada, you'll be starting at 35 lakhs. So your effort which you are putting in earning those degrees really makes it worthwhile when you earn those salaries. And the lifestyle, obviously, we should not ignore the lifestyle which you will be living in Australia, Canada, US, UK is way different from what you live in India. So there's the second part. Third part is when you study abroad, you get to meet friends from across the world. You will have an African in your class, you will have a Chinese in your class, you will have a Japanese in your class, you will have a different cultures, different backgrounds, different status in the life. You get to meet all of them. The network which you build there, you cannot build that network in India. So these are the reason why people should be thinking about studying abroad. Now, when they think about studying abroad, the whole discussion I started was linked to what kind of jobs you can get, the salaries you can get. If you look at any country, the most of the jobs will be available in tech sector. So your priority should be, if you have that mindset of mathematics, or you want to do computer science, you've taken a computer science as your class 12 subject, then I think there is no second guessing that you should work for a computer science program. See, today's kids are getting taught coding from the age of, as I say, the class 4th, 5th. Everybody will start having a coding as a subject. So I'm sure you all have, as our listeners today, you also have done some kind of bit of coding. But if you don't have interest, I don't want to force it on you. The second most prominent field where you will get a jobs is going to be the business, because end of the day, you are going to get in a role which is, it might be a sales role, customer service role, hospitality role, whichever role you pick, tourism role. These are all business roles, end of the day. And business gives you the broad, I'll say, knowledge about the world. That is where the most jobs are being created. So the two fields which I believe people should look at is the computer science field, and the other is the business. When we think about very niche fields, some people think about psychology as a field, some people think about healthcare as a field. Yes, you can do. If you have an interest in healthcare, please go for it. But let's not get into too niche a field, because that reduces your chances of getting a job there. So as I said, lawyers, etc., whatever field we choose, it's not easy to get a job of lawyer outside India. So we should pick up the fields where we believe there are a lot of job opportunities, and where you should be able to easily get your jobs when you go and present yourself as your CV. So that's what I'll say. You can go for engineering. I can see some Rishabh has mentioned mechanical field. Yes, mechanical engineering you should do. Computer science is obviously preferred, but if you have an interest in mechanical engineering, why not? Go for chemical engineering, for mechanical engineering, if you will. But to be honest, Rishabh, just to answer your question, in India, people don't want to take mechanical field. Ask people who get in IIT, all of them are fighting to be in the top ranks. Why? Because they want to choose computer science. Because the job opportunities after mechanical are not that great to go and get the job. So that's why people go for the mainstream computer science opportunities. So yeah, so that's what I will say. Look for these two, but if you have interest in specific, then you need to be thinking through whether that country has that opportunity.
Right. Now, coming to what will it take for a student to study abroad, I just want you to throw some light on the admission requirements, the finances involved, and how does upGrad actually help in making so much simpler?
Yeah. So the reason why people give up in going abroad, they find this process to be very, very complicated. The first process is obviously identifying the university, the country, the courses which you want to apply for, then understanding those eligibility criteria. Universities do not put it very, very clearly what will make them give you an option to come abroad. And also in terms of the exams which you have to give. So if you're going for, let's say, a US bachelor's, you are required to give an SAT, ACT. You might have to give IELTS or TOEFL. But if you go through upGrad abroad, you don't have to give SAT, ACT. You will be required to give IELTS, but the criteria is very, very lenient, and that you can give during your 2 years. Same thing is for, let's say you're going to Australia, then you don't know what is the academics a university will ask for. And we make it very clear because we know that what is the university ask. So you need to come and talk to us, and we help you in doing the whole thing. With upGrad abroad, you have started studying with us straight away, and we will take care of your exams, your applications, your SOP, your financial balances which you need to keep in your account. All that will be taken care by upGrad abroad. Yeah. So there's a benefit of starting today rather than waiting for and getting discouraged by the whole process of going abroad.
Right, and how do you look at the finances? As in, how should a student manage it, and what are the finances involved? And you spoke about the return on investment. So also want you to throw some light on how is the return on investment accelerated when a student picks up an accelerator program or a pathway degree program.
Yeah. So I think first question is on finances. Unless you have a very rich family background, most of us have to go for an education loan. That is the way. Education loan for a bachelor program and is a secured lending mostly. So you need to think about putting something for security, and you also need to have some backup there. So when you're thinking about education loan, nearly all the banks will give you loan for the program which we are sending you, and you need to figure out a security for getting a loan. In some cases, we can also get unsecured loan because you're going to good universities. You might be able to get good, especially in US, unsecured loans are available. So depending upon which place you're going, you need to figure out. An education loan is not something which you can get within a day or two. It takes time. You need to give a lot of documents. They will verify a lot of things before they make an offer to you. So that you need to keep in mind when you're thinking about going abroad. That is one part. But second, how these rules are very, very different for different countries on showing the financial capacity. Let's say you are going to Australia. In case you're going to Australia, they will ask you to show in your bank account at least 1 year of tuition fees and 1 year of living cost. And that finances need to be at least, they never say, at least 3, I'll say preferred 6 months old. That means it has to be in your account for 6 months. If you're getting education loan, that is okay. But otherwise, all your finances should be in account for 3 to 6 months. If you're going to Canada, you need to upfront deposit this amount of living cost as well as tuition fees to get a visa. And the reason I'm saying is because you need to go for SDS route, which is student direct stream route. If you're going to UK, you have a much more flexibility. They do not ask you to put anything in escrow, but they will still ask you to show financials. How are you going to come to UK and spend to take care of your cost? In case you're going to US, you need to again show 1 year of tuition fees, 1 year of living cost, and then only they will issue you I-20. So this is a big amount. And that is where when you study with upGrad abroad accelerator program, you get time to prepare for that. It's not day one you have to put that money there. You get time to collect that money in an account and show it to the government of different countries that you have wherewithal to survive in a foreign country. So that's about the financials, Praneeth.
Right. A lot of participants are actually interested in asking, how do they navigate the requirement of a 4-year bachelor's degree if they've just finished a 3-year bachelor's degree in India? What are some of the options that they have?
Yeah, so that's where I think things become really complicated for students who are doing 3-year bachelor's. Many of the countries, such as Canada, will not allow you to come for master's program unless you complete your 4-year of bachelor's. Same is case of US, but US has now become a little more flexible. UK, you can go with a 3-year bachelor's. In case of Germany, you can go for 3-year bachelor's. The only thing is when you go with a 3-year bachelor's, you need to spend more time studying. So then you need to spend 2 years studying the master's. In case you have a 4-year bachelor's, you get some benefit and you can go for a 1-year master's as well. In case of Germany, or in case of, I'll say one more country with UK. So as far as the, I think somebody asked 180 credits or not. My answer is, see, this definition of 112 credits or 180 credits is actually, credits is defined in different countries in different way. What you are calling 112 credits in India after completing your 3-year bachelor's will be considered 180 credits when it comes to Germany or in case of UK. So don't worry about those credit definitions. Credit definitions vary a lot between Australia, US, UK, Germany, Canada. US and Canada follow similar structure, so you can, there we have some sanity. But in Australia, different universities follow different credit structure. So I will not go with the credit number. I will go with a 3-year bachelor's, 4-year bachelor's. Some countries will not allow you to come for master's unless you have completed your 4-year bachelor's, which is US and Canada specifically.
Right. One of the webinar attendees wants to know,
Let's pick up question one by one. I think that would be good.
Yes. So I'm just going to do that. Yes. So how is an online degree student actually looked at by employers during the placements, or is there any difference between somebody who's finished a year or two online and a student who's going on campus regularly?
So I think this online and on offline, whatever you call it, is in your mind. When the employer looks at you, he looks for your skills, and he, even in case he's looking for a document, he gets a document which is a degree, which nowhere mentions that you have studied online. So I don't know why people think that I'll be looked at differently, unless you go and shout at your loud, dear employer, I studied online in India, then I came to US and completed my degree, which I don't think you will do. Your degree, your documents, nowhere mentions online. So there's no difference. First of all, this part. Second, if you are skilled, if you know something which the employer really needs, never worry about your online, offline. It will always be your skills which will be valued while giving you an offer letter. All of us have studied last 1.5 years. I'm sure all of you learners here have studied 1.5 years for 1.5 years online. Even now, it is this semester also looks to be an online semester to me. And we have worked in an online manner, all of us employees. So online cannot be looked down upon. Be assured, online is going to be looked up upon. Everybody will say, yes, you have studied. If you have done online study, I'm assuming you have done a lot of work, because on campus, you can really take benefit of some of the things which you cannot get in online. So don't worry about this online, offline stuff or India, US stuff. End of the day, your skills and your degree matters. The degree says that, okay, you have done Bachelor of Computer Science, Bachelor of Software Engineering from a particular university, and that's what matters.
That actually brings me to the next question. How does upGrad actually help accelerate the learning outcomes? When you're talking about the fact that it's not going to be about online or offline, but more about your skills, the learning outcomes of the degree, how do we accelerate that part of the journey for a student?
I think major difference, Praneeth, comes from when we think about teaching, we think about how the student end of the day will use our teaching to find a job. So we are not a research institute. We are not teaching you to go and do research. So that's very clear. We think of a student who comes to us, end of the day, he needs to find a better career opportunity. That is where and you see so many students pass out of the engineering colleges in India, end of the day, they don't find a job because they are not getting the right skills. So that is a big difference. So then what do we do? What we do is we ensure that whatever lectures you're doing or live lectures you're doing is taken by somebody from industry who is doing this day in, day out. We will provide you opportunities to do internship in your second year, so that you, whatever you have learned over 1 year, 1.5 years, go and implement it in the real life. Our learning will be evaluated not by the exam which you write at the end of the day. It will be evaluated on the basis of the project work which you do. So there will, all the courses will have a capstone project which you have to showcase whatever you have learned on a real life problem. Can you solve that problem or not? So when you think from that perspective, when you go and meet an employer, your resume will say, okay, you have done this particular course. where you studied something. All of us are not extracurriculars guy who can go and say, yeah, I'm a black belt in Taekwondo and I can do karate for you, all those things. So when you have to showcase something, when you go for an interview, you need to have a fun point on which a discussion can be had. That is going to be your capstone project. You will talk about your capstone project, and on that capstone project, the interviewer will interview you. You'll be able to answer those questions, then you have a job. That is what we call creating your own portfolio. So whatever projects you have done over the course period with us, ours is going to be your portfolio, which you go and showcase to the student, to your interviewer, and they will give you job on that basis. So that's a major difference. We are a career-oriented teaching organization. We are not a research-oriented teaching organization. So end of the day, we know our learners are looking an outcome, which is a job. So there's a major difference. So whatever we do, you'll find it. When you study with us, the good part is that you have a flexibility in case you missed something in a classroom. You always have an option of going back and reviewing it, figuring out. During, and when you're studying with us, when you're going through a particular concept video, your knowledge will be checked during that video itself. You'll have MCQs being sent to you, coming in the video itself. You need to answer, only then you move ahead. We monitor how much you have consumed as a content, where are you lacking. Each person will have adaptable learning experience. So they know how, so somebody is running fast, somebody goes slow. This gives you flexibility on the way you want to study rather than pushing you, okay, this is the only way you can study. So that's the difference between an online learning, or I'll not call it online, but upgrade learning experience. Online is a very difficult term to talk about. The difference of upgrade learning experience versus a regular on campus in a brick and mortar college room where you sit, where the professor is just talking, or reading from a book. And we have seen all kind of professors in our lives. Some have been really good, but many have been a disappointment as well. You don't face that in case of upgrade.
Right. So before I move to the next set of questions here, just want to know that learners here are interested. How do they transition from wherever they are right now? If they've graduated 12th, or they're in college, or they're looking for masters, what is the next step they should do to understand more about upGrad Abroad's programs? What would you like to recommend?
I think if you want to know more about it, go to upgradabroad.com. and you will find all the accelerator program listed there. So somebody is asking, like Toki is asking, Bachelor in Computer Science available university in Australia. We have 2 universities in Australia, which you can go and figure it out. We have University of Canberra, and we have James Cook University, Brisbane campus. Both are giving you computer science options, which you can go and consider. So all that information is available on our portal, upgradabroad.com. You can figure it out. If you like a program, do an application. And once you have done the application, we'll review your application and send you the offer letter. And post that, you can start the process of fee payment.
Got that. The next question, Ankur, is which country is the best for MBA in HR?
Which country is best for MBA in HR? So, okay, what is the role of an HR? Let's see. The multiple roles an HR can play in an organization. But the most important, where everybody wants an HR, is the talent acquisition.
Very true.
So you think about talent acquisition, then you think about HR. Now, I will suggest HR, you should be very, very thoughtful before you think about HR as a career opportunity outside. Because let's say you are going to US and you have become an HR there. You need to hire for a company, which is a US company. And the talent pool which you will get will be mostly US citizens. As an outsider, if you're trying to recruit a US citizen into a US company, but you are from India, you will face challenges. So that's where I'll say be very mindful to take up an opportunity which is going to be too culture specific. Okay, I'll say very, very culture specific opportunity. But anyway, I don't see a reason why you should look at those countries where you see a lot of hiring opportunities, if people are hiring in bulk. Germany is one example which I can take. Germany right now needs a lot of people to do the work. In case you're going to Germany as an HR, you will find a lot of opportunities in talent acquisition. If you talk about what is the other role of HR, it's basically the ops processes, onboarding the student, onboarding the employee, ensuring their payment is the payroll is processed in time, ensuring their leaves are taken care of, and the related operations process. And the third role, which is more of a culture and building the organization sector. So you need to see which part of HR you are interested in. Accordingly, you decide. Most of you will be getting, after doing your HR, as a talent acquisition as a role. So go for countries where you find a lot of hiring is happening. So US, Germany, UK, these will be the countries where I will prefer to go for HR.
Right. I hope that answers the question. The next one is upGrad Abroad is about an online course to accelerate for abroad education and not a platform to apply to universities directly. So could you just help her?
No, it's not the case, Praneet. We are helping students to go direct. Obviously, we have these courses of accelerator program, but if someone is wants to go direct to a university, and especially when the university options we don't have, we will help him. And these are like, but the only thing you should keep in mind is that the first last intake of the year is already gone. So whatever intakes are going to happen is the next year. So you need to be patient. We will help you in application. In across the world, any university you want, we will be able to help you.
Right. So just to add there, for anybody who's just moved out of school, yes, you can still apply to our accelerator programs. And yes, you can still apply for scholarships. Mr. Ankur is just going to let us know about all the scholarships that are there and what is the criteria for it. But just for you guys to know and have a clear clarity of how the program runs. So there are two tracks. One is a business track, one is a BCA track, a BPA track and a BCA track. Both of these tracks are articulated to about 7 to 8 universities across the world, Australia, US, and Canada. And like Mr. Dhawan was mentioning, after you complete your semester 1, 2, 3, and 4, or in case of Australia, you finish the semester 1 and 2, you can actually feel free to choose any of these 3 countries to further capstone your education with your majors here. So the foundational years are in India, where we try to save almost 20 lakhs of rupees on all, your entire academic cost of the degree for every year you spend with upGrad. So we're not just making it more affordable, like Mr. Dhawan mentioned, but also a lot more flexible. I think, and I'd like to ask for his opinion as well, that most of these students step back from taking that high risk of spending so much money because they're still not clear. So upGrad actually gives you that window of complete 2 years or 1 year, if you choose to, of deciding what are you best suited for. So whether you want to do a BBA in HR or operations or supply chain, we give you 2 years to figure that out. And sir, one thing I'd like to know is, can these students also switch between different degrees? Can a BBA student actually then end up in Australia doing a hotel management degree, or can end up, in Canada doing a Bachelor of Commerce, even after they've done a BBA track here in India? Do you think it's doable?
Yeah, so that is the case. Mostly the Bachelor of Business program, which we are running, the first year foundation is more of foundational subjects, which gives you microeconomics, macroeconomics. You will get to know about basically decision sciences. You will get to know about HR practices. You will get business communication. So mostly are the foundation programs. So you post that, you have options of going to multiple specializations. Some of these are mentioned by Praneet, like HR, finance, accounting, strategy, operations. Those are available. But if you want to go for, let's say, tourism, hospitality, sports management, so these profiles are also available. So BCom is one example. Someone is looking to do CPA after that. That is also open. So different universities have different options, which are provided to students when they think about going to the second year and third year on the campus.
Right. So Gokul wants to know, Ankur, that he's currently doing OSSD to study in Canada. It's a grade 12 diploma, and he's doing it online. How can upGrad help him get into an undergrad course in US or Canada? So
I think
diploma.
I believe once he's doing a diploma, he would have already discuss with the provider that how can he gets his basically going abroad. If he still wants to continue with India, I think we can consider if you can share the diploma copy with us, that if we can consider that diploma for our programs as well. But online is not material to us. What is material to us is his marks and recognition of that particular program in India. Our program for Canada has got 2 universities. We have Yorkville University, we have University of Canada West. You'll be able to choose the option after completing your 1 year or after 2 years as well. So it is a very, very flexible program where you can choose between the 2 universities. You can choose between the year option, 1+3 or 2+3, both are available.
Right. A lot of these students want to know, is there any fully funded academic study across the world?
So it's like going for the same competition which I talked about, Praneeth. If you want to be 1% or maybe 0.1% in India, then 0.1% in outside India as well is possible. So if you are amongst those best suited to go to Oxford and get a full scholarship, yes, there are options available. But that means that you are the best in India. This is why they are giving. But understand, most of these universities recruit from India or have international students coming on their campuses because they are highly paying. And that is how they survive. So do not expect that they will give thousands of scholarships. Yes, there are scholarships. There are scholarships. There might be 5 scholarships in a particular country which you can go for. That can be fully paid scholarship. But I will not recommend you to bank on that, because that will just slow down your process of going abroad. And I think what we are doing is we are making the same part of the problem which you're saying, financials. If you would have gone and studied 4 years in US, it would be 4 times. If you do 2+2, you are studying only 2 times. So the first 2 years is basically a scholarship which you're getting, because you are able to study the same curriculum at a lower credit, a lower cost. So look at this as a scholarship. 100% scholarships are not genuinely available outside India. There will be few. I'm not saying 100 students in the world will not get a scholarship to go to US, but these are not even in thousands, to be honest.
Right. A lot of participants want to know about the master's opportunities in Germany, as in what degree options are there, what are relevant courses that they can do, and which are some of the best universities in Germany to pursue their postgraduate studies.
Yeah. So again, when it comes to studying in Germany, I think we have got covered all the possible streams which you can think about. We have options of studying data science, which is the most upcoming field right now. If you think about career opportunities of future, jobs of future, which we talk about, data science is one of the jobs which will survive very clearly. So we have option of master's in data science, which you can do on campus in Germany. We have options of doing management courses. So you can, if you are a fresher, you can go for master's in international management. If you have a recent work experience, you can go for MBA. And we have got 5 specializations there in MBA, which is IT management and manufacturing. You can go through finance and accounting, international marketing. So depending upon your wish, you can go for another any of those specializations. Then we have masters in computer science, where we have specialized in cybersecurity, and very soon we will come for masters in computer science general as well. So these 3 options which we have gives you nearly all the possible fields which you can go and study in Germany. Now, why Germany is more important than what options we are providing? Germany is amongst those countries. First of all, this is the 4th largest economy in the world. It's bigger than UK. It's bigger than Canada. It's much bigger than Australia. So let's first stick with the point. This is the 4th largest economy in the world. And they have a lot of job opportunities at present, because their own native population has become aged. They are suffering with this problem of low fertility, low birth rate. That's why they need people to come from outside and help their GDP to grow further. This is a very high quality education country where you will be studying in a very from the one of the best professors in the world you can get through. Now in Germany, you can go to public universities as well as to go to private universities. Public universities, the admission criteria is very stringent. You need to get very good IELTS score. You need to have very good academics. You need to have very good LOR, letter of recommendation from your professors, from your company's boss, etc. But many of us don't have those things. then in that case, what is the option we have? We can go to private universities. Private universities, thou are not ranked, but one thing which they assure is that you will get a job. Why? Because they will have the career services arm. They will keep a smaller batch sizes of 25 to 30 students in a class. They will give you more personal attention, and their fees is not very high. Actually, their fees is less than what you will be paying in India. A master's in data science in Germany right now costs around 10 lakhs. You cannot get anything cheaper than that. So my answer is that Germany gives you much more affordable education and very good job opportunities. When it comes to finding jobs, you'll find there are a lot of job opportunities that you can get. Berlin is the startup capital of the Europe. So they are full with job opportunities you can get.
Right. A lot of them want to know the exact cost involved in the accelerator programs that we offer. And maybe you could throw some light on the time taken in terms of the job scenario and the salaries to get the exact 100% return on whatever they invest through the accelerator program.
Yeah. So accelerator program for bachelors typically will cost you first year around 2.5 lakhs. In masters, you will have again 3.1, 3.2 lakhs. This is the first year fees. Now, when you go to the countries where you're going, there you'll have to pay the full fees, and you will get scholarships as well from 20-25% depending upon how much you score in your bachelor accelerator program, which we are running. So in the accelerator program, if you score well, you will get 20% scholarship from the universities abroad. So that's one part. In masters, the fees is anyway very low, so you don't have to worry about scholarship. They have already given you close to 45% scholarship by reducing their fees. So that's the answer. So you have to spend 2.5 to 3 lakh depending upon you're going for bachelor program or master's program. The average salary after completing your education, let's say in Australia, should be 30 lakhs. In case of Canada, it will be around 35 lakhs. In case of US, you can expect 55 to 60 lakhs. In case Germany, you will be expecting 40 to 45 lakhs. Now, investment, if I look at 1 year 2-year investment in Australia is around 44 lakhs. So you spend 44 lakhs, you get 30 lakh salary. 80% is recovered within a year. If you spend, let's say, 45, 50 lakhs for US and you earn a salary of 55 lakh, 100% return on investment on year one. In Canada, you'll be spending 35 to 40 lakh. You get a job of 35 lakh. You're nearly 90% return of investment in year one of the job. So that way, most of these countries are somewhere between 80 to 100%. In case of Germany, you are actually having 200% return because your overall spend in your education will be around 20 lakh, but your initial salaries once you start doing job will be around 40 lakh. So this is a 200% return on investment. This is a no-brainer. Anybody should not even think about if they have option of going to Germany.
Right. I'd just like to reiterate the fact that I've mentioned my email address and that of Mr. Dhawan. If you've got any specific questions that we've not been able to take up, please make sure you write to us. Ankur, the next question should be if we can help any student to study bachelor's in Germany. Like Ankur mentioned, we can help you study anywhere in the world, but you'll have to get us in touch, and we'd love to know about the sort of education you've received. So you can go to upGradAbroad.com, put in your name, your age, your background, and your existential qualification, and we will get back to you. If you want to add something, sir.
So I'll no, everybody thinks about when bachelor's Germany, does it make sense or not? So my recommendation will be not to go for bachelor's in Germany. First of all, the visa success rate is very, very low. Typically, if you go for master's program, your visa success rate will be around 95% plus. So 95% students who apply, they will get visa. In bachelor's, it will be less than 50%. So that's one thing. Second, the bachelor's is like our class 12 for Germany. You will not be considered for job market unless you complete your master's. So if you are okay for doing 3+2, 5 year of masters or whatever, 5 year of masters, let's say, then you go to Germany. Don't go for pure bachelor's because this will not lead to any career outcome for you. So that's my answer for Germany. Bachelor's you have to do in US, Canada, Australia. Those are better countries to find options after completing your bachelor's.
We have Jack who wants to know about the post-study work visa. I think Jack, so Mr. Dhawan had mentioned that whether you go through an accelerator program or whether you're studying on campus regularly from year one, your post-study work visa and any post-study work opportunities are going to be absolutely same. Sir, do you want to add to it?
Yeah, so post-study work visa opportunities, we ensure that all our accelerator programs give you similar opportunities which you would have got by going direct. So we save costs, but we do not reduce the benefits of saving that cost. So in case of Germany, you get 18 months of post-study work visa. In case of US, you get 3 years of OPT if you study 1 year there, STEM course. In case of Canada, if you study for 2 years, you get 3 years of post-study work visa. In case of US, you get 2 years of post-study work visa if you study for 2 years. And in some cities, it can up to 4 years. So your work visa, post-study work visa is not affected by starting in an accelerator program. That is our promise.
Right, sir. The next question is, which country is the best to study masters in computer science? I think you've already answered that. It should be the US, but if you want to add to it.
Yeah, so you're right. So if you're looking for masters in computer science, yes, US is one of the best countries, but it is very competitive as well. So you need to keep in mind, computer science is not an easy field to get in. But the next best option will be Germany, I'll say. After US, the second most popular country when it comes to technology, R&D, new innovation, it will be Germany, where the most of the automobile sector is there and building the self-driven cars. So you look at, obviously, US, I will say number one, and then second option will be Germany.
Right. So we have a question, scholarships by James Cook University. Yes, we have 20% scholarship by James Cook. And actually the criteria is very, very, very minimal. It's about 65% if you come from a nationally recognized board, and 67.5 if you're going for a tech-based degree, 65 if you're going for a business-based degree. And sir, would you like to specify the scholarships that are there in case of bachelor's and master's both?
Yeah, in case of master's set, the fees itself is 45% deducted, so you don't get the scholarship on top of that. But in case of bachelor's, nearly all programs, if you're going to US, you get $10,000 scholarships per year. In case you're going to go to Australia, we have 20-25% depending upon which university you're going, 20% from James Cook, 20-25% from Deakin, another 25% from Torrance. UOC gives you 10 plus 20% depending upon your performance in the year one of Chandigarh University. Now, these are scholarships are available. Now, Canada, I think I saw somewhere somebody asked a question on Canada. You should understand, when you think about going to Canada, what are you getting into? So Canada, typically students are, when they think about going, they do not go for a master's program, because master's program in a Canadian university requires you to have 4 years of bachelor's, very high marks. They will not, and very good IELTS score, minimum 6.5, no less than 6 on all the bands is what. So people have started taking the second best option, which they get in Canada, which is diploma. Diploma is very, very affordable, honestly, I understand. And there the expectation in terms of IELTS is also lower. So most of them go for diploma. And if you look at those diploma courses right now, in so much demand that for every seat, they are getting 100 applications. And when you have such a demand supply mismatch, when you have for one seat 100 people coming, you are same in the competition which you have in India. So in India, we are also fighting for the one seat. Here, lakhs of people fighting for one seat. There, 100 people are fighting also. So when you have 100 people fighting for one seat, then obviously you cannot expect the provider to give you any scholarship. So scholarships in Canada are very, very rare. There will be few. I'm not saying they are none, but those options are not, first of all, not available in any of those colleges where you do diploma. In universities they are, but then you have to prove yourself at a very high level. You should have very good percentage, good IELTS score, then you can expect something in case of Canada. Yeah.
Right, Ankur. The next question for you is, how do you navigate the minimum requirement of knowing German language? Is that a criteria for our programs also in Germany?
German language requirement is not there in our programs. All of these are English taught courses, fully taken in English. So don't need to know any German language. That's one part. Having said that, once you start working in Germany, you need to know German. It's always good to know a language which most of the native population is talking. That's why when you go to Germany, complete your at least A2 level, and if you can do B1 level, that's also better. During the year which you're studying there, the courses will be provided by university, as well as your employers will be providing you courses. Do those courses. This will help you. But I have seen people in Germany who have been staying there for 4-5 years and they don't even know A2 level. So it's not mandatory, but it's good to know German language when you are in Germany and you think that you have a long run stay in Germany, you want to settle down in Germany, then this is the best option.
Right. Devesh wants to know next, how do you compare the return on investment for BTech or Bachelor of Science in US or Australia compared to doing BTech in India, the return on investment? I think you've already answered that. I think I would like to reiterate. So Devesh, so if it is okay with you, I'd just like to repeat what you had mentioned. So largely with our accelerator programs, Devesh, you're spending about 25 to 30 lakhs for all 4 years combined, which is a lot lesser than what you will make as a standard in your year one alone of work. So your ROI in the first year is more than 100% of all the 4 years of expense that you've made in comparison to a regular degree. In India, I think Ankur would be a better person to throw light on how much is it that a private university nowadays charges you for BTech? You talk about VIT or Manipal, and what is the general return on investment? But keep in mind, for any tech graduate, the normal salary should be about 5 to 6 lakhs at the most to begin with. So,
yeah, so it depends. The best answer is that which university you're studying from. If you're from IIT, maybe you can get a higher salary. If you're from very poor, very bad college, and there are a lot of them, engineering colleges, then maybe you don't even have a job and you start as a call center employee. So depending upon which university in India you are able to get, a name like SRM or BIT, you can expect up to 5 lakh, maybe 7 lakh. Best case, I'll say 7 lakh. If you're studying in computer science, then maybe yes. But do not expect. But the cost of studying in these colleges is already reaching 10 lakhs. So you are basically talking about 60-70% is what you will be earning on your investment. That is what you will be paying. But see, question is not the percentage here. I'll say the absolute value is so low that to fight for that absolute value makes it very, I think, demotivating for many of us. That why are we fighting so much for this 6-7 lakhs of salaries, and we have to go through a lot of trouble for that. So if you can, obviously, a lot of students do, and there's nothing wrong in it. If you can afford to go study abroad, then you should go for study abroad. Otherwise, India is what you anyway are doing.
Right. VIT, for a fact, is now charging about 4.5 to 5 lakhs per year. And keep in mind, degrees for 4 years, almost 20 lakhs of rupees, which is exactly what our cost nearly is for studying in Canada. So we're talking about the return on investment. And like Mr. Dhawan had mentioned, the bandwidth of opportunities that you're getting there and the PR and the lifestyle that you can enjoy, you have to keep all of these in perspective when you specifically talk about ROI. So the next one is, so we're going to be taking the last two questions. First is, if there are cases where there is a student as a participant here who's already doing a bachelor's degree, is enrolled somewhere, what is the next step if they want to transition to our accelerator program now after having been enrolled somewhere?
I'll say if you're in year one of a bachelor program, I'll suggest you to enroll for our program. Yes, there will be a loss of a year one if you go abroad, but that's worth it. But in case you do not go abroad, you can continue with your whatever study you're doing in India and complete. So you will have to take this risk of doing another year one with us. At the same time, don't quit your whatever you're doing. Do a dual education, I'll say, and ensure that your chips are in both the baskets. It's not that you take one course. Our course gives you flexibility because in online you can still do it. two courses. But at the end of the day, if you go abroad, I think that's what you need. You want to go to University of Canberra, you want to go to Deakin University and complete your BBA, this is the option you have.
So there are participants here who want to know the total cost of doing an MS in cybersecurity or any other field in Germany. And I'd love for you to highlight the fact that they are now entitled to do a dual degree program with us. Please.
So MS in cybersecurity, if you're looking to do from Germany through our accelerator program, in India, you will be spending around 3.4 lakhs. And in Germany, you'll be spending around 7.8 lakhs. So just to add, this will be around 11 point some lakhs. So 11 to 12 lakhs is what the tuition fees is. So I think nothing can be cheaper than this. If the university like VIT are charging 5 lakh, 4 lakh, as Praneeth mentioned, then you are getting a 2-year degree on 11 lakh. As well as I think Praneeth mentioned, there are two accreditations. You are getting Triple IT Bangalore certificate for doing your year 1. And with IU, you will get master's degree in in cybersecurity.
Got it, sir. So we'll just take the final question. We've almost taken all the questions for now. How do you so it has not really been asked, but I think it's a very important bit to be addressed here. What is the likelihood of these students getting part-time jobs so that they can actually negate the living costs and pay on their own?
Yeah, I think nearly every student get a part-time job. So part-time jobs are never a problem when you study abroad. When you go abroad, you should assume that you will get a, but yes, you will have to appear for those opportunities. You have to go and seek those opportunities. If you're rich, you will not, but if you are middle class like me, you will go and find those opportunities. So don't worry, part-time opportunities are available in bulk in all the countries. You will not have an issue.
I'd like to add that, in fact, Australia and Canada, two of the countries that we're really keen on offering up programs at, have one of the highest paying rates. The minimum wages, they're almost nearly, Australia has got about, I think, close to 14, and Canada has got close to about 13.85. So you can expect to cover the living costs by your own, and you will just need to pay off the academic fee for 2 years, which is anyway, like Mr. Dhawan mentioned, a lot of students which I meet are very keen on doing diploma because it costs lesser. And we have been able to sort of offer you the complete degree program at that cost, where you're just bearing the Canadian fee for 2 years. The first two are almost negligible, almost 2.5, followed by 1.5 lakhs. Sir, the next thing and the last question that we should be taking has been asked by Hiranmai. Talk about MPH in US and UK. How do you compare MPH? And Vinayak wants to know if there's an assurance for placement after doing these courses.
What was the question? First question, just clarify that.
I think she, by MPH, she meant a degree in health. So,
okay.
G. So, should it be done in the US or UK?
I will say right now, healthcare is one of those fields which is in most demand because of the COVID we are seeing. Everybody wants a nurse, everybody wants some doctor. So healthcare workers are in demand. Both the countries are good, US and UK. UK, you should remember, they are only giving you 2 years of graduate immigration route. After that, finding a job in UK will be difficult. Nursing might work because it's one of the fields where the people are needed. So they might give you relaxation and you can find a job. But otherwise, finding a job in UK will be very difficult after 2 years of post-study work visa expires. US, you have a lot more options. So between the two countries, I will recommend to go for US. What was the second question, Praneeth, you asked?
Yes, Vinayak wanted to know what is the assurance of placements after an accelerator program or any such degree, even if you're doing regularly on campus?
So Vinayak, if you are assured of your hard work, if you are assured of your smart work, if you are assured of learning skills, I think job is assured. But if you are not going to put your 100%, nobody can get you a job. So that's something we need to anyway agree, that nothing will come on platter for us. Only thing which can come on platter for us is if our fathers have built a big empire and has built a business for us, but otherwise you need to work hard for it. So nobody will give you any assurance if you are not assured of your own skills. So that's what my answer will be.
Right, sir. Rishabh finally wants to know what is better for engineering, US or Germany? I think you've already answered that. Sir said US is very competitive, a lot more expensive. So Germany is actually the next best place that you can actually study. Sir, do you want to add to it?
No, I agree. So US is very competitive. Getting there is in engineering program is not that straightforward, especially when the master students are coming on plenty. Germany gives you more options there because there not as many master students are going, so you can find better opportunities and better courses there.
Right. I think with that, that should be a wrap. On-campus placements, like Sir mentioned, I think all our university partners give you the requisite hand-holding. They help you equip yourself with as many skills as you need to fill that gap between your classroom education and the employability. Your universities abroad also get you into co-ops, which are a part of your academic curriculum for your university education and get you the relevant work experience. And all the necessary handholding is going to be done. The opportunities are going to be extended. But like Mr. Dhawan mentioned, I think at the end, it depends on your capabilities and you know that extra mile that you will have to walk to get a good enough job. But yes, I think what Sir really also meant there was that there is an ample scope of some of the best career opportunities if you largely compare it to India. But you will have to make your own set of efforts beyond the handholding of the universities to actually apply to these workspaces. Sir, would you want to add on how do we make sure that they understand that beyond the requisite handholding, how is it that the general perception of any employer across the world is a lot more to somebody who is studying, you know, abroad or goes to one of the best universities in the world? Why is that talent chosen over anybody else?
To be honest, my answer will be even people from passing out of Harvard do not get jobs. So nobody is going to give you a job if you are not showing your skills. So today the word has changed. It will be based on your project work. It will be based on your skill level, your ability to network outside of your comfort place. So if you go to abroad and you only stick around with Indians, then God bless you. You need to go beyond your comfort zone and meet people and network and go learn from them. Get your career services right. You'll find a job. Don't worry. Jobs are in plenty. Job will not be an issue. It will always be a skill which can be an issue.
Right, sir. On behalf of all the participants, we'd like to thank you for your time. I think largely you've been able to address all the questions that were raised. If there's anything specific, we really recommend that you write to the 2 email addresses that I had mentioned. We'd love to take them up. Anyway, I'm just going to mention our website. It's upgradaborad.com. You can always visit. There's a query form. You put in your name and the country you're looking for, and a counselor will get in touch with you shortly for any question that you have. Like Mr. Dhawan mentioned, we're not just looking at accelerator programs alone. We also are largely responsible for direct admissions, but you have to allow us that window to understand where you are coming from and what is the right recommended option for you, keeping in mind your circumstances. About financing, like Mr. Dhawan mentioned, we will help you, assist you with the education loan, and we will assist you with all the requisite hand-holding there can be, including career services from all our university partners. So rest assured, I think we've reached a milestone in the Indian higher education setup, and we've been able to match the affordability and get you an accelerated ROI, and you get a chance to study from some of the best universities in the world through us. And we also help you fulfill all the requirements, like Sir had mentioned, IELTS or SOP or your letter of references. We get all of them sorted for you. Again, on behalf of upGrad, I'd like to thank all of you for your time. I think it's been a pleasure. Sir, would you like to leave a final message for them?
Yeah, my message to everyone who is still there, thanks a lot for being patient with us. That's more important. And be positive about your future. Don't worry, you will find a job. If you're good, you'll find a job. There will be never an issue. So I think that's one part. Second, if you have enough funds, go for study abroad. Because in India, you will always find a lot of competition for something which you should be getting as your birthright. I'll say everything has to be fought and won over here. So that's what I will say. And the opportunity around the world is open for you. You can go study in whichever country you want. All of them will give you good opportunities. Thanks a lot.
Right, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, good night only. Good night, everyone. Sorry, I noticed that we are at 8 p.m. now. Okay. Yeah.
Wishing you all good luck, and we look forward to hearing from you. I have already received so many mails from you guys, and we will make sure that you are responded to as soon as we can. Wishing you all a very good night.